Hello, hello, hello. Thank you. All right, let's get some people in here. Let me add it to my story. We're gonna listen to our theme song while I get my background together.
Yeah. 2026. Every block, every ballot, every voice. This ain't left or right. This is right now. OVC. Teachers shaping minds. Vets who stood strong. Gig workers hustling just to get along. Parents, elders, first time voters in line. Same clock ticking, same moment in time. No dark money whispers. No backroom deals. Daylight choices and the truth that's real. Labels don't own us. We bigger than size. Accountability lives where democracy thrives. Our vote counts. Yeah, remember the name. Every voice heard. We don't play no games. From the city to the plains, where freedom resound. Different stories, same future. United we found. Our vote counts.
Hello, Jay.
No doubt. Integrity first. Let the people speak loud.
All right, we're gonna listen to this while we wait for the candidate to come in. Tap the screen, share the live. Welcome in.
Clear facts, no spin. Education unlocked. Breaking down the process from the door to the box. Who earns the trust? Who shows up to serve? Asking the questions. Leaders got nerves. Neighborhoods talking. Town halls packed. Local voices first. Yeah, we built it like that. Different faiths, views, so walking as one. Democracy stronger when we all get it done. Yeah. Our vote counts, yeah, remember the name. Every voice heard. We don't play no games. From coast to coast, let the movement expand. Power in the people, future in our hands. Our vote counts, stand tall, no doubt. When we show up informed, that's what it's all about. Our vote counts, stand tall, no doubt. When we show up informed, that's what it's all about. This ain't no cycle, nah, this is a standard, long term.
All right, how do I join? I will send you a request. It looks like our candidate is here. Welcome in, everybody. I just sent you a request. You should just be able to hit accept, and it should bring you up onto the panel. If you are in here, tap the screen, share the live. If you are on a computer, it probably won't work. So you need to be either on a tablet or your phone. Diana, if you're trying to join. Let me see. Oh, let me try to send a request again. Okay, I sent it again. Oh, there it goes. Hi.
Can you see me?
No, if you click your camera, make sure you hit save.
Can you see me now?
No. Let me, I'll send you an invite to turn your camera on, maybe.
Okay. I think this is it right there.
There you go.
Can you see me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, well, hey, how's it going?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Good.
All right. Again, I want to welcome everybody in. Make sure you're tapping the screen, sharing the live. Send your daily heart me if you have not yet. Let's go ahead and try to get on the For You page so people can hear Diana. Diana, is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. So we can hear Diana's vision for Tennessee and why she's running for U.S. state. If you're in Tennessee, if you're not in Tennessee, she still be in the U.S. state. So what she votes on will affect you as well. So,
That's right.
yes.
And excuse me for the sniffles. We've got allergies going on around here. It's terrible down here in Tennessee.
Oh gosh, yeah. I'm in the north, so they haven't started really yet, but we did get some warm temperatures earlier this week, so I feel it's coming, and I'm not ready. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I want to welcome everybody in. Welcome to our Vote Counts TikTok Live Town Hall. Tonight we are here with Diana. Oh no, I practiced. Hold on. Oh, Or shoot. No, I practiced. 'Cause I saw your video. You said like Farajaka.
Yeah. So it's Farajaka,
Uh-huh.
Onyejiaka. Farajaka,
Onyejiaka. That's what.
Onyejiaka.
Thank you. And I
Yeah.
practiced this too. I don't want to
That's
mess up.
okay.
Diana Onyejiaka.
That's correct.
Thank you. And she is here running for Tennessee U.S. House here with Our Vote Counts, which is a nonpartisan coalition of citizens from diverse states and backgrounds united by a shared commitment to empowering voters and promoting candidates who stand for integrity, inclusion, and accountability in the upcoming elections. Formed by a collective of educators, veterans, small business owners, students, and community activists, Our Vote Counts represents the strength of unity across geography, race, and ideology. While our stories are different, our mission is the same: to ensure that every voice is heard and every vote truly counts. Through voter education, candidate outreach, and community engagement, we support leaders who are ready to serve the people and not special interests. By working across state lines and elevating local and national issues, we aim to increase voter turnout, inform public dialogue, and build momentum for lasting change. Our Vote Counts is more than a name, it's a promise, a movement, and a rallying cry for democracy. Together, we're shaping the future, one informed vote at a time. That is the mission of Our Vote Counts, and that is why we're here tonight. So, again, we are joined with Diana. She's running for U.S. State Senate. Tonight, we'll talk about her background.
U.S. federal U.S. Senate at the federal level.
What did I say?
State.
Oh, sorry, U.S. Senate.
That's okay.
That's what I meant.
Okay.
U.S. Senate for Tennessee. Tonight, we'll talk about her background, her vision for her state, and, of course, taking your questions live. So, let's start with who you are. So if you just want to give us a little background on you and also why you're running for U.S. Senate.
Well, my name is Diana Onyejiaka. I am a Tennessean. I've been here since 1994, 1995, maybe. I think 94, 1995. My father was a professor at Tennessee State University. And so we came here because he started working there, became a tenured professor there. We are strong on HBCUs. I also attended Tennessee State University, twice graduated. So I got my political science degree, bachelor's degree there, and then my public administration degree with a concentration in healthcare, healthcare planning, and in structures and things like that. I can't think of the formal name right now. Then I went off to law school down in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And so that's where I studied both civil and common law equally, which was at the time Southern University was the only law school that did that. And I emphasize that because it opens you to looking at international laws a little differently, and piques your interest in that area as well. So I started to develop some interest in international law and also in public law as well. And then I also had a really strong interest in teaching. So when I came back from Southern University Law School, I went into teaching. I started teaching at Tennessee State University. I taught constitutional law and criminal justice, and then I taught African American studies at Middle Tennessee State University, American government, as well as race and the law. But throughout that entire journey, I was also running our family organization, which is it's not up right now, but we ran it for about 20 years.
Wow.
And yeah, it was serving the seniors, but underprivileged seniors who, couldn't afford regular housing and meals elsewhere. So we did the best that we could to serve those individuals. And then, so that's what I've been doing. Right now, I'm helping our family rebuild. We're building up a new type of business and
Nice.
doing that. So we're very, very, very family oriented. For those of you who might be wondering where that name came from, my family is from Nigeria. I was born here, raised here, born in Baton Rouge, raised in Tennessee. And could you hold 1 second?
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
That's fine. Let's see. We'll go ahead and welcome.
Okay, I'm sorry, guys. We have bad. I'm just gonna be honest with you. We have bad pollen here, which is one of my agendas. I want to wage a war on pollen allergies because it's really bad down here.
Yeah.
In the South, it's terrible. So I've been in the healthcare field, in the management side of things, and the compliance side of it. So I'm heavy on compliance, and I've been doing that for about 20 years as well. So I would say that that's one of the unique qualities that I wouldn't say unique, but one of my stronger suits, one of the things I will be bringing to the U.S. Senate. The reason why I had an interest in the U.S. Senate, this was not something that I decided to do just randomly. This was something that I started thinking about when I was like 9. And it wasn't the reason. What inspired me were women like Harriet Tubman, and I know this is very cheesy, but
no, that's fine. That's my we have icebreaker question. My icebreaker is a woman who inspired you and why, because it's Women History Month. So go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So Harriet Tubman, Sojourner Truth, and Hillary Clinton, and Condoleezza Rice. So when I saw these women, when I started learning about Harriet Tubman and all these different women from the past, I was so inspired by their strength and how they were able to change the trajectory of their lives and the lives of the people around them. And so as I got older, and I started getting more into women's rights, and then I saw Condoleezza Rice as the Secretary of State, and then I saw Hillary Clinton as a senator. I was really motivated to really want to pursue that type of work, work in the federal government. And so I felt that taking the route of the U.S. Senate was the best way to really help impact laws, not just at the state level, but at the federal level. For example, right now in the state of Tennessee, they are doing, it's just insane. Some of the things that they're doing. We just learned now that they want to come out with a law that says that citizens or residents here can't sue the state.
Wow.
I mean, think about that. That is insane. And so when you start seeing stuff like that, you know that you can at least make some changes or restrain those types of laws from coming into place from the federal perspective.
Right.
And so that's where I've that's kind of my line of thinking is at the federal level, you're able to do more than maybe at the state level. Okay. Even though the state has a lot of stuff going on, you can do a lot at the state level, but I felt like at the federal level, I'd be able to do that. And plus more international engagements and
using your background. Absolutely.
Yes.
I see that. So I'm gonna just jump into our questions, because you kind of answered my icebreaker already. We'll talk about your vision. So you've already talked about what Tennessee is doing. So how would you say your leadership style is different from Tennessee's current representation that's in the U.S. Senate?
So right now we've never had an African American woman at the federal level from at the U.S. Senate level from Tennessee. That's never happened. But we've also never had somebody who was the first generation African American woman to run and hold a seat in at any level here in the state of Tennessee. And it's by design. It's by design. So technically, I am like the first woman to do that. I ran for the U.S. House, and then I left that race and started and came back to this. I
Okay.
ran for the U.S. Senate in 2019. I ended that um, because I was experiencing a lot of harassment and stalking and things
Oh,
like that.
wow.
Yeah, yeah. And I was new to the game, so it was a lot. And I was picking up some, attention, but I was also very small. So I went ahead and ended that race. Then I decided I could run for the U.S. House, and then I ended that because I was being suppressed.
Mm,
And then so I went back and ran for the U.S. I'm running for the U.S. Senate now. So in both races, I was the first African American woman of first generation African American woman to run for those positions. So it is very different in comparison to what is what people are used to here, because you got to look at it this way. I'm coming in with a different type of background, but not really, because I
mm,
was raised here, but I'm still very much, what's the word I'm looking for? Exposed to a different background than most people who have run for positions here in the state of Tennessee. So that's a good thing, because you're able to bring a different perspective to various issues, and you're able to look at things that, you're looking at things from different perspectives and bringing in a different solution, different types of solutions to an issue. But the bad thing about it is that you kind of stick out like a sore thumb.
yeah.
And so, and that could be a good thing, but the bad thing about it is that uh, people are can be a little hesitant to trust something that is so different and so new. And
Mm,
so, um, but fortunately, one of the things that I would say that has helped me, and I talk about this, is that I would say my faith has kind of broken those barriers, just because of the background and faith that I come from, which is more of like on the evangelical side. But the type of people that I went to church with usually are the types of people that that I engage with on a regular when I'm
mm,
campaigning. So we kind of bond on that a little bit, but it is still there are still a lot of difficulties there because again, I'm different, and so people have to kind of warm up to me a little bit. But what I found is that in the state of Tennessee, we're really somewhat family oriented here, so
mm,
um, the more someone meets you and gets to know who you are, and the more transparent and honest you are with them, which I try to be as much as possible.
yeah.
Well, not try, but I am always very honest with them. And they warm up, and then there's a trust built there, and then we are able to build from that. So,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely. So let's talk about a little bit about your strategy.
yeah,
You emphasize moderation as a strategy for
yeah,
governing. You're a moderate Democrat. So
yep.
how does moderation look like? What does moderation look like in your policy agenda?
I don't straddle far left with a lot. I try to, some people will see it as old fashioned, the
Mm,
way I'm approaching things. I'm not old fashioned. I'm just being frank about what it is that people want and giving them exactly that. I'm not, for example, like we were talking about pronouns. And to me, it's not a big deal, but for a lot of people, it is. And they don't want to have to switch from what they want, something basic. They want the regular, and which I understand. And so I emphasize that as well. I talk about that. But in the same sense, I try to recognize that there are individuals who would like to be called by other things. And so that's something I'm looking at, how that we can balance the two. Um,
mm,
but when I talk about moderation, I talk about the fact that you know, rather than say, hey, everything is everything is free. Let's say the word affordability. I mean, I'm looking at technical things like that, like the verbiage. I'm looking at things like, you know, I don't know. I'm trying to think right now. Like, there's a plethora of things that have been that people have expressed to me that are too far left for them. Um, for example, maybe like we can talk about maybe border security. You
Okay.
know, some people feel that it's okay for everybody, for people to cross over and not have any restraints on that. I believe that we should have border security. I mean, and I'm saying this as a woman who comes from a family from another country, you know. But the reality is that there are many immigrants who feel the same way, and I have to bring this point up too. You know, my family's from Nigeria, and when you look at the terrorism issues that are happening there, a lot of it is being brought in from outside the country. So when you start talking about border security, you're not just talking about, I'm not looking at it from the perspective of I want to keep certain types of people out. That's not the perspective of, I'm thinking in terms of terrorism coming in and being able to control, you know, who is coming in and identify a threat to the nation. And so these are the types of things that people here in the state of Tennessee appreciate. I know that there are people who are very good hearted and they believe that they want to help everybody, which I support. I am a big humanitarian. So I'm a big on helping people, especially women in need. I think that there's a way for us to do that while controlling the flow of people coming through the border. Um, so yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you. So
sure,
let's jump into some economics and
sure.
jobs.
Yeah.
So what policies would you support to strengthen small businesses across Tennessee?
Well, one of the ideas that I'm looking at is the is broadening how we approach the caregiving economy. I think that we need to expand that a little bit more, um, and and the way we can do that is bringing in different types of industries. One of the things that I am very, very interested in is, like, let's say the nannies, you know, having nannies. If you look at in different countries, most countries, and this, so let me take it a step at a time. When you look at different countries, having a nanny support you is not a big deal. That is the norm. But in America, that's not normal for us. And when we look at the mortality rate for women, especially for Black women, we got to start looking at the support systems that they have in place. When you have an additional help, you know, and that's affordable, working with you, I believe that we'll see a drop in mortality rates. We'll see a little bit, maybe we'll see a little drop in that, but also we'll see just a lot more, a healthier mom, you know, instead of her being bogged down with so much responsibility. We'll see women who would be able to have additional jobs while they're at work raising their children because they've got help that's affordable. So we're looking at how we're going to make that how we're going to make having a nanny um, the norm, as well as making it affordable. So when you start looking at that, you're looking at a new part of a new sector in our economy that can grow.
Mm.
You look at even stay-at-home moms. Stay-at-home moms can actually work. They don't have to just be stay-at-home moms, which that's a job in itself. But they could also run or businesses as well. And so what we're looking at is empowering stay-at-home moms and even women who've experienced abuse. These women could create their own businesses at affordable rates and run something like a nanny support system or a nanny support program that is affordable. So I know that this administration, that man over there in DC, I believe he was talking about having some of the women or some of the people who are immigrants support, working in not healthcare, but working in the hospitality sector. We're trying to look at how we can merge that with what we're talking about here. And if that's possible, then a stay-at-home mom could be, part-time working and, running a nanny program that would send people, dispatch nannies out to homes, maybe temporarily, maybe for part-time services or even full-time services. And that wouldn't be too strenuous on her. So, because she's got kids that she's got to watch. So it's little things like that we're looking at. That's a small business right there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm of the impression that every family should have at least one small business.
Okay.
You always want to have multiple streams of income, and so we want to help families bring in more money into their pockets, not just something where you're talking about. Yes, we want universal childcare. Yes, absolutely. But we also want to put money back into the pockets of family members, into these families and small businesses, maybe providing additional care in past the 10 o'clock p.m. Normal general time. Maybe that could help bring money in, and that's a small business they can create in itself.
Do you have any? Because you said every family should have a small business. So do
Yeah.
you have any ideas or policies that can help families start creating these small businesses? Whether it's some tax incentives, making it easier red tape
Yeah.
wise. Yeah.
So one of the things that we're looking at is working with the banks
Okay.
to help alleviate those initial fees so that come with starting a business. So when you start a business, you got to open a business account, right? Well, that might be expensive for someone. I mean, if you, let's say you're coming out of an abusive relationship, or maybe you are in an abusive relationship, you want to start a business, and build yourself up so that you can get out of that situation financially. Well, it's kind of hard to establish yourself as a legitimate business if you can't get a business account. So I want to work with, and I've already started to discuss this with banks, is to get banks to waive those initial business account fees. So that, yeah, you would think something small like that is not a big deal. No, it is a big deal. There are a lot of women who would be held back from starting a business just because they couldn't afford $100 or $200 account. So we want to work with them to see if they can alleviate or remove those fees, those initial fees to start a business. I'm actually going to be discussing this in June at a women's conference, and I'll post about that later. But we are focused on just getting small businesses to start. That start is really important.
Absolutely.
Yes, and then also getting the skills to maintain the business. When it comes to like compliance matters, regulations, or being in compliance with the federal and state regulations. How do you make sure that you stay on top of things? So we want to provide training and then also training on scaling the business. A lot of times we can, small businesses start and then they stay small. We want you to scale. I mean, that's how you bring money in. You got to scale it and hire people. So the bigger you get, the more people you can hire, the more people who can then turn around and do the same thing.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
We do have a question in the chat. Someone
Sure.
asked, "Are you talking about monthly fees or opening fees?" As far as
I'm
the
talking
bank.
about
Okay.
opening fees, and then reasonable monthly fees.
Okay. I hope that
Yeah.
answered your question in the chat. You kind of addressed this already, but what strategies would you pursue to attract new industries and investments to Tennessee? So you kind of talked about small businesses growing bigger and being able to employ other people, but what about businesses that are already big and grown? How can you attract them to Tennessee?
So by promoting small businesses.
Okay.
Yeah. So here's what I've been toying around with is big businesses working or merging or with smaller businesses. That way, yes, they can have some resource. They can use some of their resources. They can also provide some of the services that they need. And it would be at a fraction of the cost, right? So I'm looking at seeing how we can get small businesses and big businesses to work together, not so they see each other as partners and not as a potential competitor that you got to squash out.
Right.
Yeah.
I
So
agree.
that's one of the strategies I'm looking at right now.
Yeah, because big businesses often do take out smaller business, those small
Yeah.
and mom and pop shop kind of businesses.
Yes.
You want those to stay and grow and build and rejuvenize the community. So I agree
A-
with that one.
Yeah, and why do they do that? Because they see them as competitors
Hmm.
or see them as being in the way. But if you see them as an intricate part of your business, then you want them to scale, right? So that's what I'm looking at. I don't want these big businesses to just crush the smaller ones. I want to see small businesses grow and have the opportunity to grow. And so that's why I'm very careful with my language about, the billionaires, etc., because there are opportunities to work with them without having that animosity there. So I think that there are people who are willing to come together and work things out rather than to just take out all the small businesses, and then we just have this huge conglomerate around the place and no room to grow as us as mom and pop shops and whatnot. And plus, small businesses help keep families together, keeps a strong union. One of the things that I'm very fixated on, and fixated is the word, is growing families and straightening families. And
Mm,
so I'm looking at what are ways in which we can ensure that families grow and straighten together. Um, and yes, having a business together is one way to do so.
absolutely. And as you
Yeah.
mentioned, families,
Yes.
healthcare is a big thing for families
Yes.
right now. So,
Yeah.
what policies would you support to make healthcare more affordable?
Breaking up the big organizations. That's big healthcare organizations. Um, Right now, we've got an issue where we've got these large hospitals buying up the smaller ones or smaller clinics, and then commercializing everything. So we don't even, you've got clinics or healthcare organizations in these smaller rural parts of Tennessee that are being taken away.
Mm,
So they're not even. So what happens when that actually occurs? You've got these larger organizations hiring people from outside of the state. They're not hiring from locals. They're not hiring locals. So you're bringing folks in from outside the state, which I'm okay with them doing that. But you've also got to hire people from within. Why? Because the concerns that are affecting individuals within a local area are unique. So you need people who understand those experiences. It's not just what's on paper or in the textbook. It's the nuances. And so When you're hiring folks that are local, rather than bringing people from outside, which costs more, yeah, you've got to increase the fees in order to cover these things. So if you are hiring more locals, we can also drive down the cost, by doing that as well. But then also another way to do that is just by, ensuring that they have ACA tax credits available for them to use. So one of the things I'll be advocating for is to make ACA tax credits permanent.
Okay.
And not only am I going to do that, but I'm also going to be introducing my first bill will be the Postpartum Recovery and Reconstructive Care Act. And that's like the mommy makeover. But it's not about aesthetics per se. It's more so about functionality. So I want to move what would be regarded as cosmetic to medically necessary. Yeah. And having ACA tax credits as permanent would support that. You've got women who are still walking around with pain in their body from 40 years ago when they gave birth to their first child. We want to make sure that these women finally get the postpartum support that they never received. So we want to, and when I say we, me and my team, so I guess I should say but I want to restructure or reevaluate how we view postpartum care from beginning to end, and make it something that that would actually support the women, and then also hold healthcare organizations accountable. With this postpartum care, postpartum recovery and reconstruction care act, what we would actually be doing is making sure that healthcare facilities are, in fact, following the rules and regulations like they're supposed to. A lot of women are dying early, and they shouldn't be dying early.
Well, you want to say on the live for TikTok? Is TikTok?
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No.
We say on the live. Okay, on the live.
Yeah.
On the live.
TikTok. Yeah.
Yeah. So we want to make sure that that people are following the rules and regulations, and when you have a law like this, it would ensure that it's a second set of eyes on the practices that are in place.
Okay. It looks like we have a question from the chat.
Sure.
Nikki, welcome to the panel. What is your question?
I don't see Nikki's question.
No, he's on the panel.
Oh, okay. Hi, Nikki.
Thank you for being here just to get us started. My question, since you're from Tennessee.
Yes, sir.
A question. I was recently reading about HB 1959, which is the bill that is aimed to remove pharmacies the negotiation table for medication, which would greatly affect CVS. When you make it to your federal position, would you also champion a bill for like this on the federal level? Because what we have seen is that CVS has really monopolized this system of healthcare, not only been the health insurer, but forcing its insurers to go to CVS for prescriptions, forcing its insurers to go to CVS urgent cares. And in some ways, that is not a fair process for me. I don't like 3 months worth of medicine, but I'm forced to get 3 months medication if I go with CVS.
Okay. Well, what it alarms me is that when they have these conversations, I don't hear anything about medical doctors being part of the conversation. So what I would say is that I'm interested in finding the cheapest avenue without losing the quality of service that individuals or patients need. If that makes any sense. So I am interested in exploring that, and seeing what are some ways in which we can provide cheaper medication, and medication, cheaper medication, and ensure that you're not being exploited. Because we do have organizations that are exploiting citizens and making a killing off of them. Oh, I'm not allowed to say that word. Making a lot of money off of them. And so we need to make sure that medication is affordable for everyone. And this includes immigrants, undocumented folks, everybody. So I am absolutely interested in exploring that. And one thing I tell people all the time is I'm never going to make a decision on something without first and foremost doing my research. So, and research includes looking for ways in which we can provide the cheapest medication to you without you losing your care. I mean, using the quality of care that you need, if that makes any sense.
Yes, and I think in a lot of ways it would align to your mission to create more local, sustainable businesses.
Yeah.
Because
Yes,
CVS has choked out a lot of small pharmacies across the nation, but this bill would directly help to uplift them because CVS would have to exit the Tennessee market. So that's why I thought it aligned perfect with your vision.
Yeah, that I will tell you this is that I'm not in the business of gypping anybody or just saying anything just so I can win and get there and chuck the deuces at everybody else. No, that's not what I'm into. I'm literally into ensuring that everyone gets treated fairly and gets treated properly. I think that, in my opinion, and especially in these times, I don't believe that our citizens, or not even just citizens, the people that live in this country have been treated with TLC, tender love and care. And so I want to make sure, and I feel very passionate about this, I want to make sure that people are treated, very well. When you go into office, you're not going into office to be the king and queen. I say this all the time on my burner account. Y'all don't want to follow that. So, it's not a burner account really, because everybody knows it's me, because my name is there, but I just go off, and I know I need to stop, but I let them know that you're not a king and you're not a queen. That's not what that position is about. The position is about serving the people that you lead. And so I'm in the business of 100% serving the people. So that's something I'm going to look into more. I'll be honest with you, I'm not super versed on the medication field, but I do have family and friends who are pharmacists, and I have to have a conversation. And that's something that's on my list of things to really research about. So I want to let you all know, Nikki, I don't know where he went. I want to is he still on?
Yeah, he's back in the comments.
Oh, okay.
He can hear you.
I want to let you know, Nikki, that if when I am elected, you can rest assured that, number one, you'll have access to me to send in questions or concerns, even if you're not in the state of Tennessee. When you're at the federal level, you serve everybody, so you have access, and my phone number is out there. It's not going to change. So that's going to be the my personal phone number for people to call me. But I am absolutely going to take into consideration the concerns and the needs of people. And this is one concern that I'm going to look into starting tonight. And I'm definitely going to work to ensure that we bring down the cost of medication and that smaller pharmacies aren't snuffed out of the market. Because I believe that competition is how you keep prices down. I mean, we live in a capitalist society. That's part of it. So you've got to have some competition. And so if you've got small businesses or small pharmacies not being, not available, then you can go crazy with the prices, right? So that's definitely something I will be looking into, Mr. Nikki.
Thank you, Nikki. That was a great question, and now you've given us something to look into. As we talk about medication, let's talk about mental health. Mental health access remains limited in many communities. What policies could improve access to care?
First, I think education is number one. And removing the stigma that comes with mental health. I think that, and also what is causing mental health concerns or issues about mental health. For example, this administration right now, I would say, is really creating a lot of anxiety for a lot of people, and depression, and and then also even possibly suicide. I like yesterday I learned that they were trying to create a list of people who had what is it? They had gender affirming care. They wanted to make a list, yeah, and they have that public. I mean, that is just so inhumane to me. I was so upset, and so part of the mental health issue that we need to address, yes, we want to make it available to them, to people, but we have to start with how we're setting up our systems. That's part of the problem. We wouldn't be talking about how do we address mental health if we had the proper systems in place to begin with. I think that the systems we have in place right now are dated. I don't think it's conducive to the society that we have today and the society that's coming in, because we're changing, we're evolving. And so one of the things would be to ensure that we have a system in place that, and when I say system, government support, not just in mental health issues, but in general, that it's a support system that is humane. It's humane. That's how you knock out half of the problems. So actually responding to people's phone calls, and emails, customer service, bringing customer service back to government. You would think that that's something we should all know. No, we don't. A lot of us don't understand that you actually need to return a phone call or an email because people are in a state of distress. So if you've got a problem, or like, for example, we had an issue where a state law came out that says that medical doctors could turn down or turn away patients based off of their, So there was a woman who was pregnant and she was seeking support from a medical doctor who turned her away. And he turned her away, I think, because of her sexuality. Or it was, I think, or because she wasn't married, one of the two. And so I reached out to, even though that was a state issue, that's still federal, because that's that's her constitutional rights, right? So I reached out to state officials about this in our state, and one of them told me that it was a state issue, state matter. And the other one, just didn't even respond. And I come to find out that she had also reached out to them. They didn't say anything. So when you're in a state of distress like that, you're pregnant, you can't get care that you need. What do you think is going to happen? It's going to affect you mentally. Absolutely. I mean, you're worried about yourself. You're worried about your child, and now they're saying you can't have an abortion. I'm sure she didn't want to have an abortion, but I'm saying that when you put somebody in a state of distress and you're not giving them the support they need, but then you're telling them you can't get an abortion either.
Oh, you want to say AB? Yeah. I'm sorry. TikTok is very funny with certain words, so you just want to say AB.
I'm sorry. What did I say? Oh, I'm sorry. What did I say?
Yeah, you want to just say AB for the ending of a pregnancy.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Thank you for
It's
keeping me up
TikTok.
to. Okay. And so, when you're looking at things like that, I think that we need to do a better job of really supporting citizens and not just the people that live in our country, and not just shielding power, or shielding wrongdoing by those in power, which is what I see is being done with the law. It's not really about the concerns of the people. It's really about protecting power. And so I think that that's number one, is that we have to get back to really doing the work of service and not the work of self. Because, that's why you have mental health. That's part of the reason why we have mental health issues right now. You have people, having very serious problems. Then number two is that really honing in on straightening the family. I think that we need to get back to really putting families at the center of every single policy that we are putting up. If it's not benefiting the family structure, then we shouldn't even be talking about it. That's how I feel. The families, and that's why our slogan has moved from faith forward to family first, faith forward. We are putting families at the forefront of every single thing that we are doing. How does this benefit the family? How does this impact the family? Is this going to straighten the family? Is it going to break down the family? And so when you have a strong family unit, that's called a support system. These are people who could guide you if you're having an issue and you don't want to go to a medical doctor or you don't want to see a therapist. They can encourage you to go there rather than you to be isolated. I think isolation is really a key problem right now. And so we need to bring people back together, have them straighten their family unit. I know it's hard for a lot of people, but I think that is why we need to start talking about what are some ways in which we can straighten the family structure. One of the things that I've suggested in the past is cutting down the work days or work week. Okay. Maybe giving so like one day out the week, can be a time for people to really just straighten their families. They can go out for a movie, a day movie or something like that, rather than just being at work all day long from 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. Then on Saturday and Sunday, so people need time to build their family. And that needs to be something that's seen as normal, not abnormal. Working is great. I like to work. But I also understand that if you want to keep a family, you've got to spend time with them. And if you want your children not to have, mental issues, or I don't like saying the word issues. If you don't want to have concerns about mental, you don't want to have mental concerns or mental issues. One way in which to curb that is to have more time together. Yes. And so, so I'm sorry. I'm talking.
You're fine. Even if it's not my question, it's still giving insight to your policies and kind of what you're looking to do once you get into office. Yes. So we're going to go into some rapid fire. It's fine. We usually do two. One's more political and then one's more fun. So we'll do the political one first. So one word to describe your leadership style. I
would say my leadership style is understanding.
Understanding, okay.
Understanding.
Biggest issue facing your community right now?
Oh, goodness. Authoritarianism.
Okay. Immigration, pathway to citizenship, or stricter enforcement?
Pathway to citizenship.
Okay.
For sure.
Minimum wage, raise or keep it the same?
I think it's time to raise it.
All right. And first, well, you might have, I think you did answer this already, but first bill or policy you will prioritize in office?
Postpartum Recovery and Reconstructive Care Act.
Okay. So let's go into a little bit of education.
Sure.
What role should vocational training and apprenticeships play in workforce development?
I think that it should play a very intricate role, and that is why I am incorporating it into the education system. So I haven't updated our policies, but if you go to my Substack, I actually talk about this, where so you've got 9th grade to 12th grade, right?
Right.
Around 11th grade, I think that people or students should be able to start pursuing vocational training. So either they take the path of vocational training or they take the path of picking up college credits, or they can do both. But I think that every child should come out of school with some kind of skill. And that skill is something that they can use to make money to pay for their education. So if you want to go off and you go to college, you can, be a hairstylist while you are in school. I mean, and pay for your school fees. They make a lot of money. My hairstylist makes a lot of money. So yeah, you can go to school. You can fix cars. You can do whatever it is that you're interested in. You can do that while you are pursuing your college education. Now, if you decide you don't want to go to college, well, you've got a job waiting for yourself after school.
Yep.
Or you could start a business. And so welding is a really good profession. I mean, they make a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and we don't have a lot of women in that field. And that's something I want to change. So I want to bring more women into that sector. So yes, I am 1000% in support of that. I think that we need to get more vocational training in place. We don't have a lot of that. And because we don't have a lot of that, you got a lot of students who go out into the real world and they don't know how to do a lot of things. And you know what that does? That costs money for organizations, for businesses.
Yep.
So if we start the training while they're in school, then that's half the battle when they leave school.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah, so I'm for it.
Yeah, and as we talk about students being able to pay for school, what should how should lawmakers address the rising cost of higher education and student debt?
I think that they should. I am willing to look. I have student debt, so I have student debt. I'm just gonna be honest, and I think that there needs to be, we need to really look at forgiving loans, but also I think that the way to go about it is, like I just said, one of the ways in which we can cut down the expenses is really to make it a norm to work in your area, your field of work while you're in school. And that way you can at least pay for your books. You can at least pay for, maybe part of your education, your tuition. I also think that, if you've got the funds to do it, if a university has the funds to do it, they should just make education free. For students who come from certain economic backgrounds. I mean, so yeah.
Yeah, and I agree with you with that. I also have student loans. I also went to a HBCU, so when you said that, I was like, yeah, yes. So trying to really pay off your student loans while the insurance, the interest is still increasing. Trying to keep up with being able to pay everything else. The wages aren't matching, so it's definitely a struggle for a lot of people right now.
Yeah, I think that they need to, in my opinion, I think that they need to. I would like to see them waive the loans. I think they should go ahead and do that. I mean, because the economy is so terrible right now.
Yeah.
And people are having a very difficult time to even finding work. So I just think that there needs to be a little grace, especially during this time.
I agree. I just want to let everybody know that if you have a question, you can put it in the chat or you can request up. And if you put it in the chat, I will read your question out loud. So let's jump into public safety and justice. How should policymakers address crime while also building trust between communities and law enforcement?
Well, I believe in addressing. Oh, okay. Let's not. I just want to tell you that there's a question here from Sayanka about the diluting the medication. So I'll address that as soon as we finish this one question.
Yeah, sure.
So could you say that question again one more time?
Well, we can since you already saw, we can address that first. So she did put hopefully when saying cheaper medications will not dilute the medicine to do what they're supposed to do. So
yeah, that's why I was very, very, very big on the quality of the medication. It needs to stay. It still needs to be a good quality medication, but at a cheaper cost. Okay.
Absolutely.
So you were asking how could you ask that question one more time? I'm sorry.
Yeah, sure. How should policymakers address crime while also building trust between communities and law enforcement?
So I have been looking at what Baltimore has been doing. So they've really been working with the community.
Yep.
And I think that's and the way that they've been doing it is they actually built an authentic relationship with the people there. But they didn't take away the law enforcement aspect of it. So I think that that's something that I really want to explore, how they're actually doing it. I do believe that we need to have more community engagement. People shouldn't be afraid of the police officers. I support the police, but I also support police having a good relationship with the citizens. And that means that there's no abuse of power. So I don't support abusing power. I don't support, you know, letting people off the hook who have deliberately harmed citizens. These are people that entrust you with the city or to run the city properly. Therefore, you should be providing the protection that they need. I do want to make sure that the streets are safe. I mean, in order for moms to stroll their babies down the street, safely, there needs to be law enforcement, in sight or available. But with that said, I don't believe in the intimidation factor. I don't think that we need to have military out watching everybody. No, we need to have a good police system in place that actually protects the people, but then also gives them freedom to actually live their lives without feeling like they're being washed under the radar. I also believe in privacy rights, in protecting the privacy rights of individuals. So that goes back again to protecting your constitutional rights. I think that we need to ensure that our law enforcement understands what the constitutional rights of the people they serve are, and vice versa. People need to know what their rights are. One of the things that I really am big on is Tennesseans being very informed about their rights, and about what's going on, with laws that are being passed and with laws that are being removed. The protections that are being removed. Like today, I found out that, and I think I already stated this, that they want to make sure that citizens can't sue the state. I mean, that's insane. But that's what happens when you have people who aren't putting the rights of citizens at the forefront. So, and when people don't know what their rights are, they think that that's normal, and that's not normal. So it's definitely about education and then in training, but then also respect. So ensuring that there's a respect between the two, the community and law enforcement.
Absolutely.
Yes,
As you talk about law enforcement, what reform could improve fairness and accountability in the justice system?
oh my goodness. I mean, because there's so much. I would say first and foremost is ensuring that we are actually hiring and selecting people with integrity. And I'm not saying, when I say that, I mean what I'm saying. One of the things that I'm going to be very big on is on the judges that they bring the potential judges for the federal bench. I'm not going to take that lightly. If you are somebody who is known for or who has engaged in compromises, you've been doing favors for other people, I don't want to see you on the federal bench. I've made it very clear. If you are a judge, don't donate to my campaign. Don't even come to any event that I'll be at, because I don't even want to look like there's questionable, anything questionable happening if you are considering being on the federal bench. And I have to, I have to preside over your hearing, or I have to be part of your hearing. I don't even want you around me during the elections or during campaigning. I'm very big on integrity, and I'm going to do my research. The number one thing that I'm finding with the criminal justice system, not even just the criminal justice system, the legal system, is the integrity aspect. We have a serious problem with integrity, and so I want that restored. Being honest, being transparent, being a defender of the population, and I just think that that's what we have to get back to. So that is how I would approach that, is ensuring that the people that are being appointed to the bench or wherever else that serves the public is, these people are indeed people who are people of integrity and have a value system that they follow. I think we get caught up on resumes, and we get caught up on sound bites, and we get caught up on, who knows who and what school a person comes to, but we never ask, what are your morals? What are your values? Do you have any principles? These are the things I'm looking at. So it's not necessarily the most popular person. Matter of fact, if you're popular, I'm probably not going to really look at you. I'm looking at people who are humble servants, people who are committed to doing the right things and really serving the people. Because there are so many people who are being abused by their government. And I want to make sure that we get that cut out. And the first thing you got to do is to make sure the right people are in place.
Absolutely. And as you talk about the right people and working, for the people, how would you work with members of Congress in the opposite party?
I would, well, I would actually, try to find a middle ground. If they are willing to, without compromising the integrity of a bill or the integrity of justice or the service that we're trying to provide. But I'm a very collaborative person. When I try to meet people where they are, without losing myself. Of course, I try to stay as authentic, as possible, but I do try to meet people where they are. So working with people across the aisle is not an issue for me. I wouldn't say it is. I don't think so. That's not really a problem, but making sure that they understand that, I am serving Tennesseans. I've got to meet their needs and their concerns, but I'm also open to compromising where we can compromise without losing the integrity of, without losing integrity to, or my commitment to the people I serve.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So how can Congress, because you talked about the people you serve, so how
Yes.
can Congress better represent the everyday concerns of the voters?
By listening to them. First and foremost, I would say engaging them on social media. Social media is a great way to engage, or to find out what the concerns are out there, and then also responding to their concerns. I mean, making a phone call, calling them back. Sometimes it's okay to personally call them back, having town halls, in person. Here we have a problem with folks not doing town halls. We've got somebody who hasn't done the town hall since 2017.
Wow.
And yeah, and so it's when you're hearing the concerns of constituents, and you're constantly ignoring that. That's actually it's almost it's actually very disrespectful, if you ask me. So you're serving people. You need to make it a point to engage with them. They need to see you. They need to meet you. In order to serve the people I'll be leading, I would say, I want them to have access to me. So I am going to be leaving my phone number out there. If they want to give me a call, they can call me directly. If I can't pick up, or if I'm not responding, then what they can be sure of is that they'll get a phone call back within 48 hours. So I've got a policy in place of 48 hours.
Okay.
You get a phone call back, you get an email back, a response, a follow-up.
Absolutely. And I think that's what a lot of people feel like they're missing from their representatives, that follow up, that, that they actually are concerned about what the people want and what they should be voting for their, state, district, or whatever. So absolutely, I agree. So let's do a little bit of the fun rapid fire now.
Yeah.
So let's see. So morning person or night owl?
Night owl.
Night owl. Travel back in time or into the future?
Ooh. I would say the future.
Okay. Call or text?
Call.
Music or podcast?
Music.
All right. If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Oh goodness, a superpower. Gosh, that's a hard one. That's a good one. A superpower. My superpower would be diffusing conflict immediately. So bringing people together.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, that's a unique one. I haven't heard that one yet. Okay.
Yeah, creating love, yeah.
People usually say invisible or something. So that's good. I like that. That's a unique one. As you say that kind of leads into my next question. So that's funny. We know Tennessee is considered a conservative state. So how would you build coalition that includes independents and moderate Republicans and Democrats?
Well, I would say that Tennessee is a purple state.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think that it's a conservative. I mean, I'm out here and I am building that coalition now, and I don't see it. I don't see hard right. I see that being phased out. It appears as if we're hard right because maybe the paper says it, or and you hear our leadership who are very hard right, who appear to be hard right. I don't think all of them are. But so what I do is I just go out and talk to people. Some people think you got to do this whole big strategy. I just go out and meet people. I go to bars and take my flyer and have a conversation with folks. I go to the grocery store. I go to Walmart. I go to the gas station. I go everywhere and I meet people where they are. So and when I meet them, I don't say I'm a Democrat. I just say, hey, I'm running for office and I don't like what's happening here. I know you don't either. I want to support you and I want to change our country. Will you support me? Most people aren't really caught up on the left and the right or the middle, or they just want people who are going to just do their job. They don't want the theatrics. They don't want the antics. They want you to be responsible. And so that's what I do. I just go out there and meet people. And ironically, that's what's been bringing people in. I mean, I just tell them, hey, and one of the things I do tell them is that, hey, I am not, I don't support so and so. When I say that, and it sounds mean when I say that, but when I say that, it brings down the wall of you're an ideologue. And it says that I'm open to everybody. Okay. And that's what I'm about. I tell people that I am for everyone. I am running with the Democrat Party. I am a Democrat. But I'm also in the People's Party. And I literally say this. I'm in the People's Party. I'm in the party of you. That's the party I'm with. That takes precedence over anything else. And so, and from there, I mean, I've been able to pull different types of people in. So we've got Republican, or somebody who was, voting Republican. I'll meet people who voted Republican. They'll say, I vote Republican, but I'll vote for you. Because I just talk to them like I'm talking to you right now. And I tell them what's really in my heart. I don't have a pitch. My pitch is whatever it is that comes to my head at the time, and whatever is true. That's my pitch.
It looked like we had someone requesting up, but I think they're gone now. Okay. But if somebody does want to request up or have a question, go ahead and feel free to put it in the comments. Miss Diana, as we are wrapping up, we have about a couple of minutes left. Sure. So is there any policy or idea that you're running on that you did not get to discuss yet that you would like the people to hear?
Yeah, FedRight. FedRight is my policy on automatic voter registration. So it's an actual solution to whatever it is that the Republicans believe is a concern, which is citizenship and all that. I'm looking at ensuring that people are registered to vote. That's what I'm looking at. So FedRight would actually have 18-year-olds get a new voter, or not voter card, but a new ID, okay? And then also they would register to vote at the same time. But if they choose not to vote, they would have to get an affidavit saying that they don't want to vote. Yeah, that way they are actually thinking about what it is that they're doing. So you don't want to vote, fine, but we got to make sure that you are very conscious about what you're doing, and you got that. We've got an affidavit to support that. That's it. And so, and then also, it's you have the opportunity to register to vote at the time of citizenship. Same thing applies there too. This way, people are registered to vote. People are citizens, and then we can move on. I mean, the Save America Act is very convoluted. And it's really an immigration bill / voter suppression bill. And I think it's very dishonest. It's not being frank with the people as to what it actually sets out to do, which is to enforce immigration, and then also, and I think that there might be another element to it that has to do with taking citizenship away from people. Yeah, so taking citizenship away and then rendering them as non-citizens. And then also you're looking at the logistics of that, and I mean, this is March now, we're going into April. And I just don't see how they're going to actually operate, how they're going to actually put that in place and have it function properly before November. It's not feasible. So FedRight is the alternative to that. So you turn 18, you register to vote. You get your citizenship, you register to vote. You don't want to register to vote, fine, get an affidavit. But you're going to automatically be registered to vote unless you say you don't want to be registered.
Absolutely. And I've heard a lot of people kind of push something similar where it's like an automatic registration.
Yeah.
So we can kind of just cut this headache out that's been going back and forth right now in Congress. So yes, I would think many people will probably agree with the automatic registration. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So as we get into our last 10 minutes, I'm going to go into some closing questions. I want to ask, what is your long-term vision for Tennessee's economic future?
I would like to see more, I'd like to see our rural cities built up a little bit more, but I'd also like to ensure that it still maintains that rural feel and that the people have input as to the buildup of their cities. Right now, we've got a situation where we've got businesses that are leaving, and jobs are leaving with that. And so, but we've got these rural areas that are great for manufacturing. I'd like Tennessee to be part of the space industry in the manufacturing aspect of it all. And we could put that in some of these rural towns. And so I think that would be excellent. I'd also like for us to be part of what I would love to see, a baby boom, which would go with the modern caregiving economy that I am very big on. So if we can get more, people in the caregiving industry, if we can build up a new caregiving industry, we could see new types of businesses coming out of that, especially if you've got older women having children. So we talk about people having kids, but we don't talk about the fact that we've got 40-plus-year-old women who are having children a lot more these days than before. And they need a different type of support. And we need to create that type of infrastructure to support them. So I'd like to see a maternity industry built here in the state of Tennessee to support what I think is going to be a baby boom very soon.
Do you think America needs a baby boom? This wasn't my question, but
I know with all the stuff that's going on right now, I think that when the Dems take the majority at the Senate and the House, I think that there'll be a balance, and I think that that's when things will start to flourish. I would hope so. Some of the cuts that have been made need to be rolled back. So that's one thing I am going to be doing, is fighting to roll back some of these cuts. Okay. And to create more jobs for people. So I think it will happen.
Okay. All right. Let's see. So, what message do you want Tennessee voters to remember about your campaign?
Our campaign is about everybody. It's about everybody, and we are 100% committed to serving Tennesseans and, of course, America. But we are very committed to service. I am not coming in to be another politician. I don't see myself as a politician. I see myself as a Tennessean, as an American. who has grievances like everyone else and wants to change what I see as a serious problem. And the serious problems, one of which is the way in which we're governing right now. So I am absolutely committed to doing what's right, following the rules, of course, but then also ensuring that the people in this country get the TLC that they're not getting now and haven't gotten for a long time. So I am going to be very committed to serving them. And this campaign is very much about the people. So I don't want people feeling like, well, I'm not a Democrat and I didn't vote Democrat before, so I can't support her or I can't join this campaign. No, this campaign is for everyone. If you are serious about changing your country, join this campaign. We are in the business of changing the trajectory of our nation. I am committed to making sure that citizens or people in this country are protected. And I am also committed to holding rogue politicians accountable. So we've got somebody up there that's doing whatever they want to do. I am going to ensure that they understand that there are rules and regulations, and they have to follow those rules and regulations. I'm not about to play about that. So they can count on me to do what's right and to defend them and protect them.
Absolutely. Thank you. And as you talk about your message, let's talk about how people can support your campaign. If you want to give any of your socials, your website, how people can get in contact with you and keep track of your campaign.
They can go to our socials. So on, I believe on X is TeamDianaTN. I think it's TeamDianaTN. And then and then also on Instagram is TeamDianaTN or TeamDianaHQ. And then also we're on all social media platforms. So they can, but it's TeamDianaTN. The website is being worked on. We're still working on our website. So if they can give me about a week, we're still working on it. But they can also go to our ActBlue, which is Team Diana, and donate there. All we are asking for is $3. Support us with just $3. And that $3 is going to stretch. But we are encouraging people to support the campaign. You got to remember, if you want something different, you've got to put in the effort. And something small like donating is effort that can go a long way. My opponent is Bill Hagerty. Bill Hagerty has $17+ million and is asking for more money because I think he sees that there's a real competition in our campaign. So they're not going to be easy. I'll tell you guys that right now. And the only way that we beat out Bill Hagerty is if we have the funds to do it and we've got the hands to do it. So the best way that anybody can help this campaign is to, one, donate, but two, share our information on social media. Follow us and share the information. Because you got to understand, even if you don't live in Tennessee, I'm still going to be working for you. So if I'm not in there, Bill Hagerty will be in there. And Bill Hagerty and his friends and his fellas in Congress right now want to do another cut. He was a co-sponsor on the Save America Act. So you got to put these things in perspective. It's either you get Bill Hagerty again, who's 66 years old. He graduated law school the year I was born, year and month I was born.
Wow.
I'm 41. And he has not been to a grocery store probably since I was born. He has not been, so he does not know the price of bananas. He does not know the price of a coconut in Kroger. He probably hasn't seen a Kroger in like a million years. So you want to support candidates like myself who actually understand the affordability crisis that this country is currently under right now, who understands what it means to pinch a penny, that's going to actually empathize with your experiences so that I wouldn't go in there and make a cut, without knowing that, hey, that cut could mean you can't get groceries 2 weeks down the road. So, or you can't afford health care. He doesn't know anything about that. So I would say to anybody that's listening out there, understand that I am somebody who is just like you. I am not some millionaire politician. I'm a regular average person that is sick and tired of what they're doing in our country. And if somebody doesn't stop them, if we don't stop them, we won't have a country anymore. And this is real. I mean, the fact that they want to take away your rights to sue the state, even after the state has abused you and did whatever is done to you, that's a right that you have. They're trying to take away. They want to take away your voting rights. They want to take away your right to sue. They want to take away, your privacy rights. I mean, this is just blatantly obvious that your due process rights. I mean, you have a right to due process. They want to take that away. So we all need to really get serious about who we're putting into office, and and also look at the integrity, look at the character of the person. Really, really look at the character of the person. If they don't have good character, you might not want to support them. But I would say at this juncture, everybody in the Dem Party is the right that's running for office right now. In my opinion, they do have the character. So I would suggest that anybody who's listening out there, make sure that you are voting for the Democrats who are running, because what you're looking at is like an army coming in, ready to go to bat for you. That's what you got going on. And I can assure you, I'm going to bat for you. So if you support me, I can support you. That's what I would say. So check me out, TeamDianaTN, all social media platforms. I'm on Instagram as TeamDianaTN HQ or TeamDianaHQ, one of the two.
Put Team Diana, you'll find her.
Yeah, put Team Diana, you'll find me.
Yes. Ms. Diana, I want to thank you. This has been a great town hall. Your closing message was great.
Thank you.
Keeping the people informed. Make sure you're getting out there, you're voting, you're looking at the candidates who are running, you're making sure that they are for you and not for anything else, that they are willing to serve the people.
That's
so
right.
I just want to thank you for joining us tonight at OVC for your town hall. And I want to thank the audience for being here as well, listening to your message. Hopefully they did find something informative about what you're running for. And I want to also invite you, as well as the audience, to our next town hall, which is tomorrow. And we will have,
check it out.
Let's see.
Oh.
No, these are Tuesdays. So tomorrow we'll have Carolina. She's running for California governor. And then we also have two more that were just up on Tuesday. And then also I want to invite you to what we call Candidates Roundtable. We do these every other Sunday, which is basically a panel like this, but it's more candidates. And you guys can just have a panel full of candidates where you talk about current policy, what's happening, bounce ideas off each other of what you would like to see coming up in our next, Congress, and how we can kind of move forward together as a country. So look out for an email about that. Again, they're every other Sunday. Our next one is the 29th at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you can't make that one, you are welcome to join us any other Sunday that you're available. Again, I want to thank everybody for coming out. If you want to do what I am doing, if you want to interview candidates, if you want to make a difference, in this upcoming election. Please DM Our Vote Counts. We are looking for new moderators. We're looking for people who are looking to be involved in our current political system, who are looking to interview candidates like Ms. Diana, figure out what they're running for, how we can improve our political system that's currently happening. So again, feel free to DM Our Vote Counts as we are looking for new people to join our team. I believe that's all my announcements. There's always so many at the end. You're welcome.
Well, thank you for having me on board, and thanks for those great questions. I really appreciate that. Yeah.
Yes,
and
yes.
Thank you to everyone that joined us today.
Yes, and before we go, again, thank you for coming. And I just want to tell you one more time that we are Our Vote Counts, which is a nonpartisan movement uniting Americans from all walks of life to empower voters, support candidates of integrity, as Ms. Diana has been talking about tonight, and ensuring every voice is heard. Through education, outreach, accountability, and action, we're building a stronger democracy, one informed vote at a time. Remember to join us because your vote is your power. Good night, guys. See you at the next one.